Never gonna happen.
Why not?
Because you waited too long to make your move, and now you're in the friend zone.
Why not?
Friend zone.
Why not?
Friend zone.
Why not?
Never gonna happen.
We're friends.
Rob Judge here. I'm joined by Alex Toro.
What's going on, guys?
And we wanted to put together this video because we want to explain why being put in the friend zone is actually a good thing. Alright, so you're watching this video most likely because you're either in the friend zone, you were put in the friend zone, you've been previously put in the friend zone, and probably there's a lot of pain and agony and suffering attached to that memory.
Yeah.
You know, or you're living through it right now, being in the friend zone. And a lot of guys think being in the friend zone, that's the end of attraction. That once you're in the friend zone, it's like being sent to Siberia. That, you know, you never...
It's notoriously hard to get out of.
Yeah,
and then you're
gulag.
sitting in a jail cell and you'll
Yeah.
never get out feeding, being fed rations of bread, just to stay alive.
Exactly. And, you know, that actually might have been the case even 10 years ago. But with now the prevalence of ghosting and girls just blowing a guy off, being in the friend zone, while it's not an ideal situation, it's actually much better than simply being ignored. Because believe me, if a girl had absolutely no interest in you, she would just simply ignore you. She would just simply ghost you. So that's number one. So number one is, you know, while you probably made some mistakes to land yourself in the friend zone and you probably did some things wrong, you also probably did some things right. So there's a silver lining to getting put in the friend zone, you know, in this, modern, era, because of the fact that, nowadays, if a girl has no interest, she'll just ghost you. Like ghosting, the no zone, the no contact zone, the ignore zone is the new friend zone.
Is the new friend
I guess
zone,
you could say. So, but now let's look at what you can do to get out of the friend zone and what advantages being in the friend zone actually has for you. So the first advantage, I'm going to turn this over to Alex to explain, is, and this is a huge advantage, is that the lines of communication are open. She's going to take your calls. She's going to respond to your texts. She's going to be looking at, liking, commenting, interacting with your social media. So when the lines of communication are open. And now, Alex, why is that a good thing?
Well, the reason is because she, she has now the opportunity to hang out with you. She has the opportunity to just get to know you and not, put any labels on anything, right? She's not thinking, oh my God, this guy's trying to be my boyfriend, or oh my God, this guy's trying to sleep with me. You're just getting to know each other, right? So you guys can hang out, you guys can go to the beach, you can go to the movies, you can go out, for a drink and just talk and just get to know each other, right? And as you build up that connection, as you build up, that, strength of the relationship over time, the relationship just becomes closer and closer and closer, and the more she feels like, okay, I'm getting to know this guy, there's no like labels on it, the more she is comfortable with you. And so, when you want to take things out of the friend zone, the chances of it, happening are much, much higher.
Exactly. And one of the things that underlie everything you just said is investment. She's investing her time, her emotions, her energy into you, and people want a return on that investment. In her mind, she's doing it just like, okay, like he's my friend, he's my buddy, and that's fine. She can think that for now, because when you do start kind of turning the tables a little bit and injecting a little bit more of sexual tension and you start attracting her, that's just going to translate. It's almost like taking American dollars and translating them into euros, you know? So the thing is that all that time and energy and emotion that she invested into the friendship, that's all going to carry over into the romantic relationship if you do things right. If you go to the right currency exchange. You don't want to be, exchanging your money for and get back nothing. But if you exchange it right, it can definitely work in your favor. Now, though, however, I do want to explain the pitfalls of the friend zone, or why you ended up there, and what's missing in the relationship and what you can do to recover it. And for that, once again, I'm going to turn it over to Alex.
Well, so, the friend zone, you can fall into the friend zone because maybe you showed too much affection to her too fast, right? She thought like, oh my God, this guy's trying so hard to sleep with me, or he's trying to get into a relationship with me, on the first date, and it's too much for me, and I can't really handle it. Or maybe you just use like too much game on her. I mean, maybe you're just like trying to use, one-liners. And by the way, those game works. All the stuff that we teach, it works. But if you do it too much, she's going to feel it. She's going to be like, okay, this guy is using lines on me all the time, and it's not something I feel comfortable with. Let me just put him in the friend zone. See, I think that hot girls nowadays, they put guys in the friend zone way more than 5 to 10 years ago, and some of them just do it out of habit, just to like basically test the guy and to see if he can handle it, right? And the easiest way to respond to it, is to just say, hey, you know what? Cool, let's be friends. You want? I'll be like, I'll be the mayor of your friend zone. I'll plan the friend zone weekly meetings, and you can invite
parade. Yeah, yeah.
And that's the thing. And she's like, look, this guy, he didn't get angry at me. He didn't like start making fun of it. He just like accepted it, and now
he did kind of make fun of it.
Well, okay, let me. Okay, so this guy, he didn't get angry at me, right?
Yeah, he didn't get defensive.
He didn't get defensive. He didn't say, "Oh, you don't know what you're missing," like, "Oh, yeah. Or you need to be like, we need to be an item," or I'm going to cut this off right now. That's the wrong answer. You want to give into the friend zone, make a joke out of it, make her laugh hilariously, and then just focus on the interaction.
Yeah, it's funny because it reminds me of a client that I did a coaching call with, and he was on this call obviously because he was in the friend zone, and when he got on the call, he was all proud of himself because he thought that I was gonna like applaud him because he was like, oh well, you know what? I'm not accepting this consolation prize, friend zone. He was like, you either come romantic or you don't come at all. Right. And he's like, I told her, Rob, and I let him tell me that. Launch into this whole spiel. It took like 5 minutes. I had to hold him the focus. He was like getting all self-righteous about it. And then I said to him, I said, that is absolutely the worst way you could have handled that.
Yeah.
That is literally exactly what I would have not have done. Exactly what Alex is saying. I would have just played it off. And that's why the humor works so well, saying something like, oh yeah, I'll be the mayor of your friend zone. Because like when you're making jokes, you're cracking jokes and you're just enjoying it, and like it shows that you're not really that affected by it. A guy who's making jokes, he's probably pretty relaxed. You never see a stand-up comedian like all nervous or like all butthurt making funny jokes. Whenever you watch a stand-up special, guys telling jokes are always really relaxed, chill, really cool guys. So if you're just like, oh yeah, friend zone up, yeah, you know what? I will be the mayor of your friend zone.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll plan that ticker tape parade in the friend zone. Yeah, don't worry about that.
So, owning it, really, just owning it.
Owning it, yeah. And especially if you can get her laughing too, because it's and then like I said, it just sets you up for like a really good dynamic going forward. Now I just want to circle back to Alex had talked about some of the reasons why guys end up in the friend zone, like as a test, right? Like sometimes like you game too hard. Sometimes, like you said, like she can tell there's a little bit of an incongruence between your like what's going on, that kind of thing. But I think the most common reason guys end up in the friend zone is because they try to be a girl's friend or try to be a girl's boyfriend before they fully attract her. Like one thing I disagree with you about is that you said that like, oh, maybe it's because she knew all you're trying to do is sleep with her. And if she knows that all you're trying to do is sleep with her, I feel like that only goes one of two ways. She either sleeps with you or she puts you in the ignore zone. So I think that most of the guys in the friend zone don't find. I think that there are outlier cases that me and you have discussed off camera that sometimes that happens as like a test. Yeah. But I think the majority of the guys watching, they're in the friend zone because of the fact that they were they showed a girl too much affection, too much they were too much like a boyfriend before they were a lover, and that's a big no-no, or a big reason, big no-no. What am I like some like a Jewish grandma, like that's a no-no, that's a no-no. Yeah, no, well that's a huge mistake. All right, like that's a mistake. You don't want to be just showing up and trying to be girls. Yeah, don't do it. So one of the things that is really important then is that you do want to start injecting a little bit more tension, and that could be sexual tension, but that could also just be the tension of saying no. You could be a girl's friend and you could be cool with her, but you don't have to give in to every little thing that she wants. Like, almost as if like you're a whipped boyfriend, which again, that's probably why you ended up in the friend zone. Mm-hmm. So if you and a girl, she's now your buddy, you're in the friend zone, and you guys are going out, you have plans to go out. And she's like, I want to go to this. I want to go to this bar because I have great martinis or great margaritas. You should put your foot down and say, no, you know what? Let's go to this bar. This bar, they got my favorite beer on tap. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be awesome. And playfully debate, because it was like when you and a girl are, again, and being playful, not fighting with her, not arguing, not being combative, but you are giving her a little bit of conflict. Now you're adding back the ingredients that was missing before, which is the tension, which is a little bit of that, of having a little bit of that backbone where she sees like, oh man, like I thought I could push this guy around, but I can't.
Right. It's a test, and you have to just you have to be able to react to it. And she might even say like, "Oh, okay, let's go to this restaurant. It's right by me." And then you might say like, let's go to this restaurant that's between you and I, or let's go to this restaurant that's a little bit closer to me. Not because of like, oh, you definitely need to sleep with her that night. It's just because like she's trying to see if you're gonna cave into it and go to like her favorite restaurant. She wants to be wowed. She wants to be intrigued by your favorite restaurant. She wants to feel like you're a man. I also think like when you're out at the restaurant, even say, like I've said to a girl one time, like I'm gonna go ahead and order for you if you don't mind, and she literally looked at me and she said, "You are?" Like that, I love that, and she got super excited, like she was like really like sexually attracted to me in that moment because I knew exactly what to order at that restaurant. I have a favorite roll of sushi, and she's like, okay, I want to, I'm interested to see what this roll of sushi is. It shows power.
And I love that. There's two things that Alex said. I hope you guys took, well, I'm going to point out that you guys are going to take from. Number one is he keeps using this word test. That, oh, this is a test. That's a test. And that is a great way to look at it. It's not, because like a lot of guys take the friend zone as rejection, right? That's why you're probably a little butthurt watching this video. And now I hope this makes you feel better. Alex, see, me and Alex, we get put in the friend zone
all the time.
But and I love getting put in the friend zone. Like I said, like, where do you think these lines "make me the mayor of friend zone" came from? They came from me because I will be a girl. I will be the mayor of the friend zone because the friend zone is like one of the easiest.
And by the way, I've used it like 1,000 times since Rob has given it. It's worked like every time too. So.
And now you can take it and you can use it in your friend zone misadventures. But the thing is that like. Alex and I, we don't look at getting put in the friend zone like, oh my God, she rejected me. Oh, all hope is lost. Let me just spiral down into the 7 rings of Dante's hell. Instead, we look at it like, okay, this is a test. Like this is a test. She's I've done some things right, I've done a couple things wrong, and now she's just testing to see, am I going to fix those things? So that's a great way to look at it. So if you're coming at the friend zone from that frame, that okay, she put me in the friend zone, that's fine. This is just a test. You're way more likely to get out of the friend zone. And the second thing, and I love the example that you used about ordering for a woman, so much of whenever you can take a stereotypically masculine role, and I mean, I'm not going to ever encourage like chauvinistic behavior or anything like that. Again, I don't want to get like Twitter shamed or anything by the social justice warriors. So that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying to show up and be like, man, that woman should be in the kitchen cleaning. I'm not.
So you're up to the first date with a frying pan.
Yeah. So
get to work.
Yeah. So we're not advocating that by any means. But one of the things, there is a certain like there's like this gray area where you can still do things like ordering for a woman, picking a place out. Doing things that are stereotypically masculine, almost to the point of being edgy or bold.
Yeah.
But that works really well because, again, I think part of what was probably missing why you got put in the friend zone is because you were acting a little bit too much like her girlfriend, like another one. Again, like a guy who's perpetually in the friend zone, and is only in the friend zone. If you look at that guy, he's either probably gay or he acts like a girl. And again, I don't mean that as an insult, but I mean like and it doesn't necessarily mean you or this, person we're talking about, this imaginary person who's always in the friend zone, always acts like a girl in all contexts, but at least around very attractive women, they assume more feminine behavior because they want to fit in. They don't want to rock the boat too much. They don't want to do anything that, in their mind, they're kind of like playing not to lose, but you got to be playing to win. And by playing to win, I mean taking on the masculine role, again, within reason, not taking it too far. Yeah. But taking the masculine lead, being the leader, being a little dominant, being okay with calling her out on things, debating her. Again, not fighting with her, not being combative, not being a dickwad, but doing things that shows that you have a backbone, that you have your personality, and talking to her like a man and talking to her like she's a woman. And I think that's something that if you inject that into the interaction, you do it once or twice. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to break you out of the friend zone immediately. But the thing is that what Alex and I are saying is that this whole thing about getting out of the friend zone, it's a succession of steps. And in fact, I actually created an entire course around this called Unlock the Scrambler. And the whole point of this course is giving you different steps along the way so that you can slowly turn the tables. Again, like we said, like in the beginning of this video, one thing, a major advantage you have by being in the friend zone is the fact that the lines of communication are open and you have a lot of time. Like Alex said, you have a lot of time to get to know this girl. You have a lot of time to fix the errors that landed you in the friend zone. So as long as like you react, you were cool with it. And again, if you're watching, to some degree, you probably did react cool to it, because if you're still talking to her, you probably didn't have an explosion like, man, you come romantic, you don't come at all. And
I was going to say to that, unless you're like Brad Pitt, to look at any interaction with a really hot chick, right? With a girl that you're really, really attracted to, that's absolutely beautiful, as like it's going to be the perfect interaction, from, the first time you meet her to, whatever happens. It's like that almost never happens. I mean, like, you always have to look at these things of, okay, she put me in the friend zone. It's a test. No big deal. Yeah. And I was just going to say, too, like, one of the things I love to do on almost every date, especially if I'm really into a girl, is to like just be, if we're walking somewhere, like we're going from one location to the next, like I'll just grab her hand and like, and I don't do it forcefully, but like I'll just, I'll even like put my hand out, and if she grabs it and like we're just holding hands, even if it's light, I'm cool with that. Now, if she's really kind of pulling away from me, then I know that she's just, it's not that she is like really not into me. It's just that she's not ready for that. She doesn't know me well enough. She's just not ready for whatever it is. The same thing is like if I try to kiss a girl on a date and she pulls away, I don't look at that as something as like, oh my God, she really doesn't like me. I look at it as like, oh, she just doesn't know me well enough yet. She's still trying to get to know me and feel me out. And one of the reasons that a lot of the guys get into the friend zone is because they also continue the interaction and they do no touching whatsoever over the entire course of the date. They don't, just touch her. Oh, that's so funny. Like, oh my God. Or like, and by the way, don't take this too far, right? We don't want to like put any messages out there that would make you think that you can touch her a ton. But like, if you're just touching her lightly and just keeping it like, just like a normal conversation. Even high-fiving. You're like, oh, that's awesome. Like, give me a high five. That is automatically, like, subconsciously in her mind, it's going to make her feel like, okay, this guy is someone that is okay with physical touch. He's someone that is okay with like, sexual like escalation. It's all about like appearing in her mind as not just a guy that, is out there like maybe trying to be your boyfriend or trying to get to know her, but also appearing in her mind that of a guy that's just not afraid to take it, sexually, and not afraid to like sort of push the envelope just a little bit to feel if there's some sort of connection there, right? I've always found that girls will, sometimes they'll walk away from it. I've definitely had those, and they'll be like, oh, this is too much for me. But, most of the time they'll respect it. They'll respect you as a guy that's, not afraid to touch her a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what we said in the beginning, that like that, you were acting more like a boyfriend than you were a lover. And
exactly.
And so what Alex is talking about is acting more like a lover.
A lover. The Don Juan.
Yeah, a lover. It sounds like a bad script to like some romantic comedy. But anyway, to get back to my shameless plug, if you want a more structured blueprint, because we're kind of throwing out a lot of broad strokes here, a lot of just general ideas, because that's really all we can do in a YouTube video like this. But if you want like very, very specific game plan, a roadmap with different phases and that kind of thing, what you should be doing. Because again, and this is the final point that I just want to wrap up everything that Alex said too, is that you're not going to get out of the friend zone with some grand gesture. This isn't a John Cusack movie. You're not going to go to her house with the boombox or anything like that.
Standing in the rain.
Yeah, it's just, you're not going to be standing in the rain. Yeah, there's not going to be like the frantic, like where she's going to drive into the airport and you need to like, race her there and stop her and, serenade her with the guitar, read her a love poem. Like, the grand gesture is not going to work here. That's not how to get out of the friend zone.
No.
Unless you're a fictional movie character. The way that you're getting out of the friend zone, if you're a real person, is by a slow, gradual. It's like I always look at it like a volume knob, right? Like, you wouldn't, if you put your stereo on for people in your house, guests, you wouldn't just crank that stereo knob up to like full volume, because that would shock the shit. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You would gradually turn that volume knob up, and it's the exact same thing with getting out of the friend zone. Like, you want to turn the intensity up, but it's going to be like a slow, gradual process, and you can figure it out yourself. You can go on YouTube and check out videos. You know, again, I'm not saying you have to. The only way to get out of the friend zone is by checking out the Unlock the Scrambler course. But if you're the type of guy who you like more of a structured, okay, do this, and then you do this, and then, like you said, this text, or that kind of thing, if you like more of that blueprint, you should definitely check out Unlock the Scrambler, which I'm going to put a shameless link under this video for you to check out. But yeah, we just wanted to put together a quick video to answer that question, or to offer a silver lining around the friend zone, because probably you clicked on this video because you thought being in the friend zone was a bad thing, and we're here to tell you that it is not a bad thing. It's actually, in some ways, in a lot of ways, it's a good thing, but it shows that, you definitely did some things right, and you can capitalize on those things, but you also, probably did make some mistakes, which is not the end of the world. It's a test. It's a test, and it happens all the time. Even with guys that are super, super good at this stuff, it happens. So, the best thing to do is to stay calm, stay focused, and watch some of our videos and figure out how to get out of it, because you can definitely get out of it. I've gotten out of it tons of times. So yeah, or buy Unlock the Scrambler. All right, link below. Thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful.